The winter wind cut through the city like a blade, sharp and merciless. People moved fast, coats pulled tight, heads down, rushing to the warmth of their cars, their offices, their homes. In front of the Grand Horizon Convention Center, cameras flashed as security held back the crowd. Inside, the air buzzed with power and applause. Alina Mirza had just walked off the stage, her heels clicking across the marble floor like a heartbeat. Her speech, bold, visionary, and precise, had closed the World Tech Summit with a standing ovation. Her company, Zenify Solutions, had just announced a $1.3 billion acquisition. Every headline in the country bore her name. At only 35, she was already a household icon, resilient, brilliant, stunning. But as she stepped through the automatic glass doors, none of those titles mattered. A small tug on her coat stopped her in her tracks. She turned quickly, prepared to shake off an autograph seeker or an overeager reporter. But it wasn't that. A little girl stood before her. Thin. Fragile. Wrapped in a threadbare scarf and coat 2 sizes too big. Her boots didn't match. Her cheeks were flushed from cold, but her eyes, those eyes, were wide and desperate. "I don't have mama," the girl said softly, her voice shaking. "Can I spend a day with you, ma'am?" It took Alina a second to realize she had stopped breathing. All the noise faded. The crowd, the cameras, her assistant's voice reminding her about the Berlin flight, gone. Just this child. Just those words. "Where's your mama, sweetheart?" Alina asked, kneeling slowly, her expensive coat dragging against the wet sidewalk. "She went to the sky," the girl whispered. "She said she'd come back, but she didn't." Alina's throat closed. She tried to blink away the memory that hit her, the hospital, the silence, the way she had clutched her stomach after the crash and begged the doctors to save her unborn baby. That had been 5 years ago. And she hadn't let anyone close since. "What's your name?" she asked. "Anya," the girl replied. "I live under the bridge with Uncle Ray, but he's mostly sleeping. He forgets I'm there sometimes." Alina glanced at her assistant, who had gone pale. "Ma'am," the assistant whispered, "we're going to miss the flight. Berlin is waiting." Alina stood. Straightened her posture. Turned toward her team, and then turned back to Anya. She knelt again, this time slower, deliberate. "Anya," she said, gently brushing a lock of hair from the girl's face, "do you want to spend the day with me?" The girl nodded, and for the first time, she smiled. Alina took her hand. "Then let's go." It was the first unscheduled decision Alina had made in years. She cancelled the flight. Cancelled her meetings. Cancelled everything. And for the first time in her life, she wasn't afraid of falling behind. They started with a warm breakfast at a quiet diner off Main Street. Alina watched as Anya inhaled the pancakes like she hadn't eaten in days. She didn't ask questions right away. She just let her eat, let her breathe. Then they walked. Through toy stores, bookstores, the park. Alina bought her a bright yellow coat that made Anya beam. They found a street musician, and Anya spun in the snow to the sound of the violin. Strangers stopped and smiled. Some even cried. They built a snowman near the lake. Named him Mr. Marmalade. Alina hadn't laughed like that in years. But as the sun began to set, Anya looked up and said, "Is the day almost over?" Alina didn't answer. Her chest ached. She took out her phone. Called her lawyer. Called social services. By nightfall, Anya wasn't back under the bridge. She was wrapped in a warm blanket, in a clean room, with a nightlight and a teddy bear named Buttons. Alina sat on the floor beside her, watching her sleep. And she cried. For the first time in 5 years, she let herself feel it all. The next weeks weren't easy. Anya woke up screaming from nightmares. She hoarded food under her bed. She flinched when someone raised their voice. Alina had no idea how to handle it. She read books, talked to child therapists, cried in silence when no one was watching. There were days she felt like she couldn't do it. Days she wanted to give up. But then Anya would slip her hand into hers. Or draw her a picture that said, "I love you, mommy." Or fall asleep against her shoulder like she trusted her with the whole world. That trust became Alina's lifeline. The media found out quickly. CEO cancels global meeting for homeless child. Headlines exploded. She was praised and ridiculed. Investors were furious. "This is not your responsibility," one board member said coldly. "You can't just adopt strays." Alina stared at him. "That stray is a child," she replied. "She's not a number. Neither am I." Some investors pulled out. Stock dipped. Her advisors panicked. But something beautiful happened too. Hundreds of letters began pouring in. People who had once been in the system. Mothers who had lost children. Women who felt unseen. Men who had lived on the streets. Children who needed hope. They all said the same thing: "You made me feel seen. Thank you." Alina and Anya began to build something bigger than themselves. They started a non-profit, Second Chances, to support children like Anya, kids who had fallen through the cracks of the system. They provided housing, education, mentorship. Anya, now thriving, became the foundation's heart. She helped pick out toys, talked to other kids who were scared, and gave speeches that moved even the coldest rooms to tears. But their bond wasn't always smooth. One night, after a long day, Anya looked at Alina and asked, "Are you going to give me back?" The question shattered her. "Why would you think that?" she whispered. "Because everyone does," Anya said simply. "Uncle Ray said you'd get tired of me." Alina pulled her close. "Listen to me, Anya. I am not going anywhere. You are my daughter. You are mine. Forever." Anya cried until she couldn't anymore. That night, she called her mommy for the first time. A year later, the adoption was finalized in a small courtroom with candles and paper snowflakes. When the judge asked Anya if she had anything to say, she stood tall in her pink dress and said, "Before, I used to dream about having a mom. But now I don't have to dream. I have her." Alina couldn't stop crying. Today, Anya is 9 years old. She writes stories. She wants to be a lawyer and protect kids like herself. Every year, on December 12th, the day they met, they spend the day walking the same city streets, looking for someone who needs a little hope. Because sometimes, it only takes one person to stop and say yes. One day of kindness. One life forever changed. And if this story moved your heart, even just a little, please like the video, share it, and subscribe to Kindness Diaries. You never know who needs your love. You never know what one act of compassion can spark. And you never know when a little voice might ask, "Can I spend a day with you, ma'am?" Be the person who says yes.